The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some independent OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may contain income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. OPTAVIA makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
First of all, tonight, I want to, this trilogy call is really to share our community and what we focus on in OPTAVIA. And OPTAVIA has absolutely transformed my life. 10.5 years ago, I was in a really dark place, and I didn't share anything because I was raised in a culture where, as a man, and even as a little boy, I was taught to pull up my skirt, and you just tough it out. And I was always an athlete, and my coaches were yelling at us and be like, "You got to be tougher. You got to be more resilient." And I do believe that resilience is important, but in a completely different way than what they were saying. It wasn't that they didn't want us to show emotions that were weak. And I know now through the last decade of being part of the OPTAVIA family that our emotions don't show weakness. But Dr. Anderson recently talked about something that made a huge impact on me. And we live in a country and in a world, quite frankly, that there's a lot of disease of all different natures. And if you look up, you can go and Google this and you say leading causes of death. And it's going to give you diseases like cardiovascular disease, heart disease. It's going to give you diseases like cancer and diabetes, Alzheimer's. It's going to give you traffic accidents. It's going to say things like homicide. And all of those things, are those causes of diseases? Yes, but are there causes of those diseases? And Dr. Anderson talked about emotional mismanagement. And a decade ago, I had very little skill when it came to emotional management. And my life was going down because of my emotional mismanagement. I would experience emotions like boredom, loneliness, anger, stress, excitement, depression, all these things. And I couldn't just be bored or lonely or angry. I couldn't just sit in it. So what did I do? I tried to escape those emotions. And my drug of choice was food. And I developed habits to where it wasn't even a conscious decision. I would just find myself in the pantry or in the fridge or through a drive-through or something like that because I did not know how to emotionally manage my life. And so the reason that I put this picture up is because the picture on the left is a picture of my wife and I on our 10th anniversary in Kona, Hawaii. And we could not afford that trip financially. We couldn't afford it mentally. We couldn't afford it physically. My wife had a couple years previous to that lost about 35 pounds. So she was doing much better than I was health-wise, physical health-wise. But we were not in a good place Our marriage wasn't in a good place. And the picture on the right was taken last December on our 20th anniversary, just down the street from the first picture. And the looks in our eyes, rather than desperation, rather than hopelessness, was a life that knew, a look in our eyes was that we're hopeful, that we have a creative excitement in our life, that whatever we want, we now have learned the skills to emotionally manage our lives, our family, our marriage, our business, and be able to share that with other people. And as a result, our life is totally different. So some of the things we're going to talk about for the next 20, 25 minutes are what we call the trilogy of optimal health. And healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And oftentimes I'll put up a picture of a tricycle with only 2 wheels. And it's like, how fun is that? I was a big wheeler when I was a little kid. Grew up in Portland, Oregon. The streets were always wet from the rain. We'd go cruising down. You have your feet off the pedals, just going like crazy. And then you'd spin out and see how many times that you could spin out. And every once in a while, we'd have a wheel that flew off because we were pretty abusive to those big wheels. And the fun ended really quickly when we lost the wheel. Same thing with when we're dealing with the trilogy of optimal health. If our mind or body or finances are out of whack really quickly, the other 2 become strained. So we want to make sure that people are getting the balance in their lives and knowing how to create health in all 3 of those areas. And reach out to your OPTAVIA coach, the person who invited you on this call tonight, to talk about that and assess some of those things. We've got a more expansive wheel that shows you some of the things that apply in each of those areas. So just kind of a little bit of background on OPTAVIA. We're almost 40 years old. We're a publicly traded company. Dr. Anderson started the coaching division of OPTAVIA almost 19 years ago now, 18, 19 years ago. And prior to that, he was in the field of critical care. Really a pioneer in his field. His wife always told us that there was kind of a joke in their hospital that if anybody got sick in the hospital, that they were going to get tattoos, and they're like, hey, if I'm sick or unconscious, take my body to Dr. Wayne Anderson. He was that good of a doctor. But Dr. Anderson, when he started critical care, he loved medicine. He wanted people to experience vibrant lives of health. But after he started practicing medicine, he met his wife, Lori, and they had 2 beautiful daughters, Savannah and Erica. And his life changed, it transformed. And now he was living in this life where he was very successful, but he was unfulfilled because he wasn't organizing his life around what mattered most to him. So he stepped away from traditional medicine and he said, I'm going upstream, where I'm not just catching bodies as they come downstream with the diseases and the acute health problems that they're coming to me with. So he teamed up, created OPTAVIA, and we've been going strong for several decades now. And we have a tremendous track record, publicly traded company now, and tremendous track record of transforming lives and creating predictable transformation in lives. Just kind of the truth, the facts of the country that we live in is that over 70% of our country is overweight. Over 35% of adults are in the obese category, which means that their risk for disease is extremely high compared to those who are living at a healthy weight. 18.5% of our youth when a few years ago, they changed the time frame for what they classify as youth. It used to go from, I believe, 9 to 17. Now it goes from age 2 to 17. Because kids at the ages of 4 and 5 are diagnosed with diseases, horrible diseases like type 2 diabetes, that they're having to deal with for their entire lives because of lifestyle. Annual estimated cost of obesity in America, $147 billion. So we're going to quickly go through the 4 components of our program. We have different plans to fit different dietary needs, activity requirements with our clients, but all of them fall within the same program. And those 4 components are your OPTAVIA health coach, the habits of health, learning system, transformation system that we guide our clients through, our OPTAVIA community, and then our fuelings, and how we help people install habits of fueling their body and their lives. So number 1 is the OPTAVIA coach. You team up with your coach. We're not your boss. I don't follow my clients around and slap cupcakes out of their hands. That's not what we're here for. We're here to partner with you and, first of all, ask you, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish in your life? How is your health affecting that right now? How do you envision in your head that it's going to feel being this healthiest version of you? How are you going to be a better mother or father? How are you going to be better in your business? How are you going to be able to serve better in your church or your community? Our physical health is such a huge part of how well we do those other things in life. We're one-on-one support. We're not here to teach you. We're here to guide you through the habits of health transformational system and be on that path with you. Number 2 is the habits of health. This system is truly transformational. The new transformational system has been available to us for just a few months already, and I'm already working through it, almost complete with it actually, and I'm going through different elements for second and third times with the opportunity to teach it to clients, teach it to other people. It allows us to be still for a moment in our life, to actually create space between stimulus and response so that we can choose what we want to, what the necessary action is today in this moment to create what we want tomorrow, next week, next year, next decade. I'm gonna bring on my good friend Dave Frampton, and he's going to walk us through the next element, and that's how we're fueling our body. Dave, you want to just kind of share your personal story first, and then how the fuelings really helped you create this transformation.
Thanks, Jared. It's awesome to be on with you guys tonight. I'm a coach big reason because of you, John, and you know that story. So thank you. Love you guys. So the fuelings, so I was about 100 pounds overweight. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I'll never forget the first time I had my blood sugar tested. It was 436. Might have been a record, honestly. My A1C was off the charts. And I had just kind of come to the conclusion that diabetes would end up, eventually killing me. Well, fast forward 4 or 5 years later, I started to see some physical signs of diabetes that I didn't like, and it actually really started to scare me. And so at that point, Katie was doing the program, my wife, my coach, who's amazing, by the way, was doing the program. I watched her do it for about a year. The doctor told me you need to start eating, every few hours. it got to the point where I was only seeing the doctor before like every 6 months because I had to have them sign a paper, send it into the state so they wouldn't revoke my driver's license. About the same time I was seeing the signs, the doctor that I was seeing, she said, I'm done seeing you. You're not doing anything. I'm not going to sign your papers anymore. And I was frustrated. I'm like, well, it's your job. And she dropped me. And so that was kind of a rude awakening for me as well. So Katie, I'm watching her do the program. She's changing inside and out. And she's like, why don't you just take some of these bars with you and just try eating them every few hours? I'm like, all right, whatever. So I started doing that slowly. And I was seeing some results and I wasn't fully on board. And what changed things for me ultimately was at the time, my son was 16 years old and my daughter, Claire, was 8. And we have 3 children. Claire's in the middle. Claire is my favorite child. For those of you who have children, I promise you have a favorite. If you say you don't, you're a liar. But Claire came up to me and she said, Dad, you're not going to be at my wedding. I said, what are you talking about, Claire? You're 8 years old. Of course I will be. She said, no, Dad, you're not going to be. And she was really, this was really weighing on her. I said, why do you say that? She said, Davey said you'll be dead by then. So my 16-year-old had told my 8-year-old that I would be dead and gone before then. So at that point, I went all in. I will take the fuelings for the rest of my life. There's no way I'd be able to get through maintenance without the fuelings because they're so easy and I'm on the go a lot with my job. I travel a bunch. They're so convenient. But the fuelings they're amazing. They've helped me maintain and it's just amazing. It's changed my life. I can't say enough good about them.
Awesome, amazing. Like every time, just tugs at my heartstrings. I love this man as a brother. We spend a good deal of time. He lives like an hour and a half away, so we don't spend enough time together. I need him to move about an hour south. But he inspires me to be better all the time. And I love how honest he is that he's got a favorite child, because I totally agree. If you don't, you're a liar. Mine just happens to change all the time. So I'm very fickle with my decision. I'm going to bring on one of my best friends, John Fuller, again, to share his story and kind of share about the community and how coaching has been a huge part, kind of an add-on, a +1, if you will, to being part of that community.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on tonight. And, I just love spending time with both of you guys. So Jared and Dave, appreciate you. Man, I look at the pictures of my before picture and I kid you not, I've literally had people tell me, John, you photoshopped that picture, didn't you? No, that was me. That face was the face you saw a lot when you saw me back in those days. We had just had our 4th son and my wife came home and she said, hey, my friend's a coach and I want to do her program. And that friend happened to be Amber, who's Jared's wife. And so I sat next to her on the couch and they went through and talked about pretty much everything that we do, health goals, where they want to be, all that stuff. And I looked at her afterwards and she said, okay, I'm doing it. Where's the credit card? And I said, sign me up too. And I'll tell you, that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. And I remember though, when she said, we need to take a before picture. And I was like, really? We're taking a before picture? Yes, everyone, please always take a before picture. It is one of the best tools you can use to see how much happier you are once you take your current picture. So that picture was not ever what I call my after picture, because there's never an after picture. It's always about getting better every single day. That picture is of me and Jared mountain biking. And what I love about this is that was in the middle of the day. Jared and I looked at each other like, hey, you want to go for a ride? Yeah, let's do it. I throw my bike on the back of my car. I drive down to his house and we go, what trail are we going to ride today? I don't know. Let's pick one. We pick a random trail. We pick a lot of random trails. We probably shouldn't pick all the random trails we do because we have gotten into some serious trouble on some of the trails that we've picked. But what that tells me is how amazing this community is. You know, Dave saying that he became a coach because of me, man, literally that gets me emotional because I feel the same way about Jared and my wife too, right? Because she's really the one who took that first step. And then, you know, I was introduced to Amber and Jared and the amazing community that we have. We have local events, we have virtual events, we have just so many things. We have our Habits of Health call that was on before this, and just so many things that happen that we get to take part in this amazing community. And OPTAVIA goes out and reaches out and adds so much more to everything around. I remember that my wife came home one day, or I came home from work one day, and my wife said to me, "Hey, I want to pay it forward. I want to help some people." And I was like, "All right, let me know how that goes." And a couple months later, I left my business partners to come home and work with her because I knew that there was something to giving and sharing and helping other people. Yeah, it helped us with our health decisions. Like my wife will be the first to be like, yeah, I became a coach because I wanted to stay healthier. And I knew if I had that added accountability, it would help. But we started noticing the difference it made in other people's lives. And being a coach wasn't about, hey, this is all us. Now we've got benefits too. Yeah, we get paid. It's awesome to get paid to help people. But when you watch people's lives change, when you get the text message like Dave sent to his coach, "Thank you. I feel like this saved my life." That's just an amazing text message to get. And you just don't get that doing other things. It's fun. It's rewarding. It truly helps you give so much more out to life. And as we know, the more you give, the more you get back. And the cool thing too about the whole coaching community is we learn together. It's not like you're stuck out there trying to figure out things on your own. We all link arms and figure this thing out and help each other. And Jared has a vast knowledge about things. So if I'm like, man, I don't know what the answer is, I call up Jared. I'm like, Jared, hey, I got this question. I need some help. And he's there to help me. And we do that all throughout this entire community. When you have somebody like Dr. A at the top helping people, that's with that type of heart and passion, you want to be a part of that. When you look at Dr. A and all that he's given to help create OPTAVIA, you're like, man, that's amazing. And then I look at Jared and I look at Dave and I look at, you know, everybody that I know in this OPTAVIA community, just giving of their hearts to help other people. How do you not want to be a part of that? It's so amazing. And my life is better. And I'm so blessed. And I say this all the time to Amber and Jared, but I'm grateful every day for them because they were patient with me. I wasn't like the easy client in the beginning. I was the little bit skeptical, a little bit like rough around the edges when it came to the whole thing. But, you know, with the love that they shared with me, I was like, you know what, this is legitimate. And this is something I want to be a part of.
Thank you so much, John. Yeah, John and Dave are like I grew up with brothers, but John and Dave are the brothers that I got to choose, not the brothers I was stuck with. I've got some good brothers, but I'll echo what they said, that it's just an absolutely immense blessing to be part of people who want your success, want success for you as badly as they want success for themselves. And John does almost on a daily basis. I get a message from John and he's like, hey, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for living this life with me. The beauty of OPTAVIA is that we get to choose how we help people. There's really 3 competencies that the OPTAVIA offers. One is everybody enters as an OPTAVIA coach. We help people get healthy, transform their health. But the coolest thing about OPTAVIA is it is more transformational for the coach than it is for the client. A lot of people have taught this principle through the ages. Stephen Covey always taught that if you want to master anything, teach it. A lot of other people have said it in different ways, but become the teacher. When you do become the teacher, You have clients or entrepreneurs or friends who want to join you in this journey of helping people. You can choose to become a business coach and help other people establish successful coaching practices. And as a business leader, you can be a leader of business coaches. You can help train coaches how to train coaches. It's such a beautiful progression. So how does it work for coaches? We're a relational model. We don't go out and advertise all over the place. We share our stories with people. We ask them how they're doing. We ask them what they want to create in their lives. And we see if it's a good fit for them. And then we make the offer. Hey, join us. We would love to help you. We would love to be on this journey with you. We would love to learn from you. Very flexible. Like John said, we're middle of the day sometimes. We're just like, man, it's too beautiful. We got a little bit of time. We're going to go hit a trail somewhere. We're going to go hit the golf course. We're going to go hit a museum with our kids. Offers that flexibility that a lot of people are looking for. So John also mentioned this, that we have a complete training system. You don't have to come in and know anything. All you have to know is that you want to help people. Everybody's heard that old adage that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's what we do. We just let people know how much we care about them, how much we care about what they want to create in their lives, and then we go to work with them, right alongside them. We partner with them, we link arms, and we go to work to achieve those goals together. So in conclusion, we invite you to just reach out to the person who invited you. I'll go back to my story where I started. I was incapable of just sitting down and figuring out what I wanted and being honest with where I was at and not having depression set in and anxiety and stress set in about where I was versus where I wanted to be. So I went about doing. I never got still and decided what it was that I wanted in my life. So I buffered, I masked all those emotions that I was feeling because I couldn't just sit and think about what I wanted. No one had taught me that. No one had sat down and just asked me, hey, what do you want in your life? So reach out to the person and sit down and have that conversation with them. Just for a few minutes, stop doing, stop watching, stop eating, stop texting, stop talking on your cell phone. Just long enough to have that conversation about what you really want your life to look like, to ask some questions to the person who invited you to see if OPTAVIA would be a good fit for you, to join as a client, to join us as a coach and pay it forward and help other people on this journey. It is truly a transformational journey, one that obviously I'm kind of passionate about, and I've given my life to it, and it's made me better. It's made my marriage better. It's made our family better. It's made my kids better. It hasn't hurt our life in any way. It's only made things better. So we'd invite you to decide if you want better and if this is a good fit for you. So again, we thank you for being with us, being part of our health family, part of our OPTAVIA family. Reach out, let us know what we can do to help you. God bless. Have a good night.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some independent OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. In addition, this audio may have contained income or earnings representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. OPTAVIA makes no guarantee of financial success. Success with OPTAVIA results from successful sales efforts, which requires hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Please see the OPTAVIA income disclosure statement for statistics on actual earnings of coaches under the U.S. compensation plan, which differs from the international compensation plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.